If we could, I'm just going to go left to right on my screen. So, Louise, if you would begin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Louise Ducray, your Vice President for Corporate Operations out here in California.
Thank you. Leslie?
Hi, I'm Leslie Luther Fulton. I'm the Executive Assistant to the Board. In the SCA, I'm Cenk Fallot of Inglewood from the Kingdom of Glenavon.
Carolyn?
Hello, I'm Carolyn Richardson. I am the Corporate Treasurer, and I am also known as Teshebet of Green Lake in the Kingdom of Kaid.
Thank you. Kate?
Hi, I'm Kate Poore. I'm Director for CE. I'm the Ombudsman for Trimaris, Glenavon, Ethelmark, Inclusive Programming, and Heralds, and I live in the Kingdom of the Outlands.
Arista?
Good morning, I'm Krista Capps. I am the Director for Seat A, and that makes me the Ombudsman for Atlantia, Middle, Aidenveld, Meridies, and Board Recruiting. In the SCA, I'm Brigitte Aguileri, and I live in the Kingdom of the West.
Liz?
Hi, I'm Liz Schreier. In the STA, I'm known as Elisette Inindirmata. I am the Emergency Deputy to the Society Seneschal, and I live in the Barony of Three Rivers in the Kingdom of Calontir.
Jonathan?
Hello again. I am Jonathan Foster. I am the Director for Seat C. I am the Ombudsman for Corporate IT, the Society Web Minister, the Society Chatelaine, the Kingdom of the Outlands, and the Kingdom of Calontir. I live in the Kingdom of Northshield.
Thank you. Bao?
Hi, I'm Bao Pham. I'm the president of the SCA. In the SCA, my name is Baudouin de Lafayette, and I am from the Barony of the Steppes in Anstura.
Megan?
Hello, I am Megan O'Shea. I am the Director for CFB, which makes me the Ombudsman for Onsiora, Kingdom of East, North Shield, Arts and Sciences, and Publications, and I am from the Kingdom of Ethelmark.
Stacey?
Good afternoon. I am Stacey Hall. I am your Society Seneschal. In the SCA, I am known as Gwendolyn Nahalloran, and I reside within the Kingdom of Meridies.
Joan?
Hi, my name is Joan Stoyer. I'm the Director for Seat D and the Ombudsman for Avakal, Drachenwald, Eldermere, and Lockhart. In the Society, I'm Rhiannon Verk Branop Griffith, and I live in Calontir.
Catherine?
Hi, I'm Catherine Nikolic. I am the Society Arts and Sciences, and in the SCA, I am Thorkatla Hurriofsdottir, and I live in the Kingdom of Meridies.
Shep?
Hi, I'm Shep Shepard. I am the Director for Seat F. I am also the Vice Chairman. I am the Ombudsman for Artemisia, Antir, Kaid, West, and the Marshlet. Modernly, I live in Huntsville, Alabama, and I'm from the Kingdom of Meridies. That's it.
Nick?
I'm Nicholas Milano. I'm the outgoing Society Web Minister, and I am currently in the Barony of Iron Mountain, which is known as Birmingham, Alabama, in the Kingdom of Meridies.
And not to put anybody in the spot, but we're pleased to welcome our new Society Web Minister. If he would introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kevin Bond. I'm from the Kingdom of Atlantia, also known as Melchior Grauenwolf. Nice to meet you all.
And welcome to your first meeting in the official chair, as it were. Erin?
I'm Erin Potter-Tien. I'm the Society Exchequer, and I reside in the middle.
Uni?
Good evening. I'm Unni Leino, the Society Herald, calling from Finland. In the society, I'm Birgitta Lulli from the Kingdom of Drachenwald.
Keith?
Hi, I'm Keith Howard. I am known in the SCA as Hengist Hayward-Asun. I am the director-elect for seat F and will be taking over for Director Shepard. I live in the middle.
Travis.
I'm Travis Schenk. I'm the archivist. I am from the Kingdom of Artemisia, the Shire of Arrow's Flight, and I am known in the society as Ramon de Javier. And it is very nice to see you all today, even if it's virtual.
Likewise. Bridget.
Good morning, everyone. I am Bridget Costello, known in the society as Anne de Tournay from the Barony of Politicopolis in the Kingdom of Lockhart. And I am your communications officer for 1 more month.
Not for lack of trying on our part. Andrew.
I am Andrew Harness, the Society Chatelaine, known in the society as Otter Surtson from the Kingdom of Callantyr.
Melissa.
Hi, I'm Melissa Midzer, known in the SA as Arabella de Siena, and I'm your Society Marshal.
And I believe I have gotten everyone. Did I miss anybody? All right. Well, in that case, in order for us to start the meeting, I will open the floor if anyone has any motions they'd like to offer. Director Capps?
If Shep said he wanted to, I'm going to make the motion. Mr. Chairman, I move that we open this July 13th meeting of the Board of Directors of the Society for Creative Anachronism and take agenda items out of order as necessary.
There's a motion from Director Capps. I'm sorry, Kate, but I think Shep edged you out this time. That is a second from Director Shepard. Is there a discussion on this motion? There being none, we'll move to voting. Directors in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries and the meeting is open. Director O'Shea?
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the agenda as presented and take agenda items out of order as may be necessary.
The motion for Director O'Shea and a second from Director Stoyer. Is there any discussion on this motion? Excuse me. And being none, we'll move to voting. Directors in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Any opposed? As 6 in favor, none opposed, that motion carries, and we will adopt the motion as presented. And with that, the meeting is open. Speaking of taking items out of order, we do have an officer who has some mundane commitments that limit their time. And as such, we will take some items out of order and go to item 6F, which is the report of the Society Marshal. Melissa?
Thank you, Shep. Greatly appreciated, everyone. Overall, this has been a banner quarter for martial activities. We saw Rapier Crown, we saw premieres for the Order of the Mark, and we saw the approval of a new online-focused martial handbook. So it's been a wonderful quarter. So that brings me to the new policy. We have the new Armored Combat Return Handbook was approved at the board phone meeting on June 23rd. This marks a huge milestone, moving our martial handbooks to an online-focused format with more user-friendly and consistent layouts. This is just the first of many. We do plan to update all the handbooks, but this was the first and biggest milestone. Of note, the new Armored Combat Rattan Handbook will be official and live 6 months from this approval date, December 23rd. This will provide kingdoms the necessary time to update their processes as needed and to avoid busy summer fall fighting months for the Northern Hemisphere. International affiliates, as usual, will follow their own processes and timelines. Wanted to note that the official document is the PDF version. So that is on SCA.org. Thanks to our web minister and Bridget, we have the links to the PDF and the links to the online accessible format are up on the SCA.org now. And if you follow that to the online landing page, there's also a FAQ for what's new, how to navigate it, how to do a quick search, and other useful information. We will be rolling out SCA-wide notices over the next week or so. So that was the big one. So other than that, that's the only new policy to announce. There were no requested board actions or policy interpretations. Sorry, it's a little windy out here. I know we print most of the accommodations, but I do want to give a great shout out and thanks to the board for the support of the new Marshall handbooks. They spent many, many hours. We had 3 additional meetings during these last few months to review the significant update and change, and they provided key feedback on both content and the deployment. So really appreciate it, and insights. Your guys' insights really help create a better product for our membership. Other highlights, we have a new Marshall office change in the Outlands. Earl Mortigan is stepping up, thanks to Beatrice for all of her hard work over the last few years. And around the other kingdoms, as we mentioned, and I'm sure there'll be more on this in the meeting, we have the East Raker Crown. This historical event was extremely well organized and run. Kudos to the Marshallet. They spent months planning for the stay and contingencies. They also leveraged training with the rattan community to help prepare marshals and layouts, and it was a huge success, and it was a day of joy. I was so happy I was able to attend. Eldamere had a war college that was a huge success, and Locke's Youth Armored Combat Program Kingdom Rules are entering their approval process, and they are working on getting youth combat archery being developed, which is a fun concept of having youth get engaged by doing just combat archery with themselves on the field. In Drachenwald, archery is absolutely blooming. Entire archery clubs with historical themes are joining the local SCA branches. Comments in this new influx of participants include friends and half the paperwork. And we should have done this a long time ago. So it's great that we're getting more visible and more people joining us. I cannot pronounce this. John Coping Boar Hunt was a huge success. 3 shires combined, and it was a 3D hunt with 47 participating archers and about 60 people overall. And they would walk out on the trail and shoot, and they had a lot of fun together.
Melissa?
Yes?
Could you slow down just a little bit, please?
Yes, thank you. Trimaris, to motivate and promote camaraderie among heavy weapon fighters, they split the fighters of the kingdom into Team Hydra and Team Kraken. So this created a sense of competition without the issues of household rivalries. And it was a huge success at recent melee practice, and people are enjoying the friendly competition. There's a lot of positive news from Meridies. They've seen a marked increase in live weapons, so thrown weapons and archery, since the BOD approved the Order of the Mark, both in participants and marshals, including geographical areas where it has been historically very difficult to get people to act as marshals. I'm actually seeing that across the board. It's always been a large component of our martial activities, but it's definitely increased over the last few months. And in the Outlands, they have discovered atlatl throwing, and they have created their own kingdom atlatl royal round. I'm glad to report that many kingdoms are continuing to improve their kingdom processes and training. Eldamir implemented an online accessible database of all authorized participants and warranted marshals. They also streamlined the expire date and restamp process for all authorized participants. So this process now includes a single expire date for all cards, which ensures no card will expire during Pensic season. So I thought that was a really clever process improvement. The middle is making video libraries of how to administer proper authorizations across all disciplines. Antir has also joined the online martial authorization databases. And let's see. I already talked about our modernization process. So far this quarter, there were 9 reported injuries, which is lower than previous quarters and this time in the last few years. And we also had 6 conduct issues reported with 4 administrative sanctions. So I'm happy that I'm proud of the marshals that are doing a good job addressing these issues sooner with discussions to address the behavior and holding people accountable. Also, our discussions and inclusions of information on concussions and heat awareness has raised awareness in kingdoms, and more kingdoms are using these additional resources. Let's see. Generally, across all the disciplines, target archery and thrown weapons continue to grow and be immensely popular. Like I mentioned, more kingdoms are creating online authorization systems and training materials. Experimental programs are very strong. These offer new and advanced activities with increased shared programs between kingdoms, and across the board, seeing increased communication, sharing of best practices, and new resources, helping marshals support and address fighter issues more effectively and fairly. So some updates on the experimental programs. The harness section is continuing to grow. We've collected almost 200 data points, with 10 kingdoms have officially joined. We're looking forward to the extended practices and fighting that will take place at Pensic coming up here in August. The reduced armor torso only program is continuing. We've collected we have over 1,300 participants. We have some really good data. We're not seeing injuries. And we are starting to engage the rapier marshals to figure out next steps for that program. The cut and thrust non-metal weapons is growing even more. We have 3D printed spear tips and halberds from the Outlands. These have proven to be safe and reliable for both rapier and equestrian. These 3D printing plans have been shared with successful builds by at least 3 other marshals. We're working on a more generalized process to help use and approve 3D printing methods. Those seem to be picking up across the board. We even have a 3D printed ballista fins out of April Market for siege. So that is one area that we're going to be looking to come up with a process to help people utilize this exciting new technology. Thank you for letting me go out of turn. Those were the major highlights. I think I'll cut it a little bit short and take any questions.
Okay, that is the report for the Society Marshal. Are there any questions or requests for clarification from the directors? In that case, without objection and by consensus, the report of the Society Marshal is gratefully accepted. And thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
And enjoy your event.
Thank you very much.
All right. Returning to our agenda, that would bring us to item 2, the approval of minutes. Leslie.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to request approval of the April 12th, 2025 quarterly meeting minutes, the April 13th, 2025 emergency meeting minutes, the April 22nd, 2025 emergency meeting minutes, the May 27th, 2025 conference call minutes, the June 18th, 2025 special conference call minutes, and the June 23rd, 2025 conference call minutes, please.
The executive assistant has presented the minutes for the benefit of the audience. These were circulated to the directors and the other attendees previous to the meeting, so we have all had a chance to review them. I will ask now if there are any requests for clarification or correction to the minutes. There being none, I will open the floor if anyone is minded to move that we accept the minutes in toto. Director Capps.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the meeting minutes as presented by the executive assistant in toto.
Not official if you don't say in toto. That is a motion for Director Capps and a second from Director Poor, who is trying to keep a straight face and failing badly. Is there any discussion on this motion? There being none, we'll move to voting. Directors in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Any opposed? The 6 in favor, none opposed, and the minutes are accepted as presented. And thank you, Leslie. That will bring us to item 3, recurring business. First on that is status changes. Stacy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have no status changes for this quarter.
That's a change, and while I'm certainly happy that we have no dissolutions, I'm eager and waiting to hear more about new groups popping up. So I urge the members of the audience and the people they know who are contemplating forming new groups to take the plunge. Love to hear about the SCA growing. Item B, does that cover also item B, Stacy? Dissolutions?
It does, Mr. Chair. I've had no dissolutions this term, and I have no new branches, but I think October will be very exciting for the board.
Exciting is not necessarily good, but I'll wait for the
productive, exciting in a good way.
I like that. Moving on to item C, or 3C, I should say, the quarterly meeting schedule. Louise?
Well, thank you, Stacy, for giving me an excellent segue. Speaking of exciting, the October board meeting will be hybrid. It will be held in person in the Barony of Three Rivers in the Kingdom of Calontir. It will be happening in St. Charles, Missouri, and more information will be coming soon.
Excellent. Happy to hear that, and certainly looking forward to being able to conduct the business of the SCA and be available to the populace of Calontir. Items. Do we need to take through items 1 through 3 under item C, Louise?
Basically, yeah. Item 2, invited guests, all corporate officers, and of course local officers and will be welcome to attend. And there will probably be, Joan, I think, is planning to have some fun stuff happening around the meeting as well. And the conference call schedule for the next quarter, the August call will be Monday, August 18th. And the September one, we will have a rare Wednesday call due to conflicting schedules, Wednesday, September 10th. And those are the meetings through October.
Excellent. Thank you, Louise. Appreciate that. Item 3D, bank account authorizations.
Yes, all bank account authorizations are proceeding apace with the exception of, once again, the Wells Fargo accounts in Artemisia. And I do apologize to those those affected exchequers and officers. We are having Wells Fargo problems again. But we're working on it. And other than that, things are going fine. The bank authorization form is going really well, and that's all the thrilling news about that.
Thank you very much. I think this brings us to item 3E, warrants. Leslie, are there any warrants for for submission?
I have no new warrants at this time, though I suspect I will be doing some this week.
I have it on good authority. Item 3F, ongoing projects. Under that item, number 1 is board recruiting. Krista?
So board recruiting goes apace. We are planning to set up some interviews coming up here after Penzic. In the meantime, we would absolutely love for all of our members to take a good look around at the folks in your area, and specifically the things that we're looking for. Always project management, human resources is a good skill, financial reporting, financial, I don't know how you explain that, Mark.
Managerial accounting, financial,
yeah,
and that sort of skill set.
That sort of skill set, always very useful, especially because we are a business and that we do need to keep that business running, and sometimes that involves financial work. So absolutely, please. You can either nominate somebody, you can self-nominate. Just send an email to our group. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That will bring us to item 2 on a related note. This is board representation. Leslie?
The board recently visited the East for their Crown list. That was first weekend of May, I believe. And then the next SCA Board Live occurrence will probably be the October board meeting in St. Louis. If anybody is interested in having the board come to an event in their neck of the woods, I would ask them to please contact me. I will let them know what is needed, or if folks are available. We'll see what we can get worked out.
Excellent. And on a side note, we are always happy and dare I say eager even to discuss the workings of the organization with the membership, and eager to get the feedback from the membership on what is important to you. The things that are having an impact on your society experience. So definitely would urge anyone who's considering that to, again, take the plunge, as the feedback is always welcome. This will bring us to item 4, old business. First in that is item A, the East Kingdom Rapier Experiment. Shep?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The main portion of this this particular point was when we set up the East Kingdom Rapier experiment through their wonderful proposal, one of the things we decided was that this, instead of being a variance, would be an experiment. That experiment would mean, as any experiment means, it needs to be studied. We were discussing creating a committee to study that, but we have a wonderful scientist on our staff here. We call her the Society Seneschal. She has a good expertise in how you would do a well done experiment study. So we have passed that to her in the auspices of her office, so that we have one less committee. Also, wanted to say I got the honor of attending East Crown. Several of us went. We had a great time. A little wet, but well handled. Congratulations to their Highnesses East, and that's it. We're moving forward.
Excellent. And very much looking forward to examining the results of that long term. That'll bring us to item 5, new business. First under that is item A, proposed amendment to corpora. Stacy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I respectfully request that the board allow the following proposed amendment to corpora to be released for commentary. Proposed amendment to corpora 7A2, inclusion of Chatelain and DEIB as Kingdom Great Officers. The background on this is that in April of 2024, the board approved the establishment of 2 new society level offices, that being Chatelain and Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging, called DEIB. Subsequent to that, we need to bring corpora 7.2a into alignment with corpora 6, which was the addition of Chatelain and DEIB following that board meeting. The proposal is to amend corpora 7.2a to read: Kingdom Great Officers are responsible directly to the Crown, but also report to a corresponding society officer if such a society officer exists. Each kingdom's great officer corps must include the Seneschal, the Principal Herald, the Earl Marshal, the Minister of Arts and Sciences, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, strike the word and, the Chronicler, add the Chatelain, and the DEIB officer. No person may hold more than one of these great offices at a time, and the Crown may create additional great offices. This amendment would align corpora 7 with the recent updates to corpora 6, ensuring consistency across the kingdoms, and provide clear guidance on the reporting structure for all great officers, including the newly established society offices of Chatelain and DEIB.
Thank you, Madam Seneschal. Directors, there is a request for board action from the Society Seneschal to wit the presentation of the corpora change to the membership for commentary. Are there any questions or requests for clarification to the Society Seneschal? Okay, in that case, I'd open the floor for any debate regarding this. Otherwise, we will move to motions. Motions? Director Steuer?
Well, Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the changes as written and put them out for, well, I move that we put the changes as stated to commentary.
As a motion from Director Steuer and a second from Director Capps. Sorry, Kate. Leslie, do you have what you need for that, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion on this motion? There being none, we'll move to voting. Directors in favor of the motion as presented, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Any opposed? That is 6 directors in favor, none opposed. That motion carries, and the proposed corpora amendment will be circulated to the membership for commentary.
Thank you, directors.
Well, no, don't rest on your laurels just yet, Stacy. I hear there's another one.
There is, Mr. Chair, a proposed amendment to Corpora 2, society events defined, with an addition for clarifying language. The purpose behind this is that there is some ongoing confusion regarding the definition of the term event as used within society documents. At present, the term society event is applied broadly to describe a wide variety of activities that range from local martial practices and ANS class nights to what we think of as the regular weekend event and large events, the wars such as Pennsic and Gulf Wars. The broad application of this has led to some inconsistencies as to how these activities are managed as the society moves towards the development of some targeted policies for risk management. The definition of this catch-all term needs to be clarified. To make this clearer, definitions are proposed to distinguish between the two categories as branch-sponsored event, i.e. a weekend event covering one or more days that may incorporate a tournament, a feast, etc., and 2, branch-sponsored activity, which would encompass educational classes, local meetings, and practices. The updated definitions would form the basis for future policies and procedures, which may be further outlined in the Seneschal's Handbook, which is currently in revision, still in revision, potential future publications such as an event manual and guide, and corporate policy. Establishing this refined terminology is a necessary foundation for managing different levels of administrative complexity and liability within the society. The current wording states that society event in Corpora 2A refers to tournaments, feasts, and other activities whereby participants can display the results of their research into the culture and technology of the period in an environment which evokes the atmosphere of the pre-17th century, Middle Ages, and Renaissance. It also refers to educational activities involving either one-time classes or ongoing society university organizations and meetings where participants share skills or discuss the business of the group. All society events must be sponsored by official branches of the society, registered with the Seneschal of the sponsoring branch, publicized at least to the members of that branch, and conducted according to society rules. The proposed amendment, the term insert branch-sponsored event, strike society event, refers to tournaments, feasts, and other activities whereby participants can display the results of their research into the culture and technology of the period in an environment which evokes the atmosphere of the pre-17th century, strike Middle Ages, and Renaissance. I'm sorry, I thought I heard someone. I beg your pardon. The term insert branch-sponsored activity, strike it also, refers to educational activities involving either one-time classes or ongoing branch-sponsored, strike society university organizations, and meetings where participants share skills or discuss the business of the group. Insert. Both branch-sponsored events and branch-sponsored activities are considered official functions of the society. Strike all society events. They must be sponsored by official branches of the society, registered with the Seneschal of the sponsoring branch, publicized at least to the members of that branch, and conducted according to society rules. It was brought to my attention that this is something that would need to be comprehensively looked through the remainder of corpora with regard to how society event may be defined in other sections. And that is something that will come forward as further work.
Okay, for clarity, is it your request that we circulate this amendment to corpora for commentary while that further work is ongoing, or that we hold this circulation for commentary until that further examination has been completed?
Mr. Chair, I would ask of the board that we hold off on that until there is a more comprehensive review, as there may be other changes requested.
To the directors, are there any requests for clarification or other questions for the Society Central regarding the proposed amendment? Then by consensus and without objection, this item is returned for further work.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, directors.
And without such objection, so ordered. This will bring us to item 5C, the margin project, scope of work. Val?
The directors wanted to have an alternative revenues working group, and here it is. It's a new project. The SCA is a growing organization and with growing needs, and so we should explore different options for the society. The project will be led by Carissa Swearingen, and I'll just give a brief overview of the project and of the project scope for the meeting today. The project overview is to conduct a profitability analysis for potential margin and profitability improvements. Identify strategies to increase profit margins through a combination of revenue increases and cost reductions. For the scope, it's going to complete a 10-year review of profitability analysis for corporate and society to include trends, to determine continued participation or viability for reuse and possibly expansion, calculate ROI on prior and current revenue or cost reduction implementations, such as lifetime membership increases, NMS and its increases, merchandise sales, grant writing, publication charges, etc. Identify areas of effectiveness and low performance that could lead to increased profits through additional revenue or reduction of costs with data-driven suggestions. Develop sales and marketing strategies that could lead to potential increased profits using research predict estimated profitability over a 3 to 5 year period. Review any other areas of opportunity for nonprofit revenue that may have not been explored at a minimum the last 5 years. Include potential development investments in areas that make sense for the NPO. Provide recommendations with risk analysis throughout the project wherever possible. A team has been assembled with different experts and different areas to put together the best proposal possible for the board of directors to review in the future with numbers to back up why we're doing what the suggestions are, which I think would be beneficial for any organization, but that's what we got.
Excellent. I believe I'm correct in saying that there's no request for specific board action at this time, as this work essentially falls within the purview of your position.
Yes, I am facilitating the implementation of a decision by the board of directors.
Understood. Are there any requests for clarification or other questions for the president regarding this work? Then by consensus and without objection, the board takes note. And on a personal note, thank you very much for looking into that. We very much need to consider diversifying our revenue streams. So welcome work to see getting bootstrapped. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That will bring us to item 6 on the agenda, which is reports. So don't go far, Val. First up is item A, the report of the president.
Man, I was just here. Okay, all right. So, for my report, I have a shortened version, but then I kind of went wild on commendations. So we'll start with the commendations first. So we all went to the East Kingdom Crown, a lot of us did. And I just wanted to specifically commend the East Kingdom Web Ministry stream team for all their efforts, because there were a lot of people at Crown, but their efforts made it so a lot of people could view this historic moment. So I'll just go down the list of people that aided in this endeavor. We have Simon of Barnsdale, Jill Messirer, Matthias von Wurzburg, Vika Gringina Z. Prahi, Mail Eowyn Mac. Oh man, this is what Harold's spelled like. Ikush. And then we also have Alice McIntosh, Mercedes de Califia, Anezka Liska Z. Colina, Eleanor Redpath, Imigla Venture, Margaret La Gantier, Aridin Gute, Brocken McIvar, Astrid Eriksdotter, Ahmed Bint Yazid, Richard LaHawk, and Martin Wasser Spear. So as you can see from the list of people, this was a massive endeavor, and they need to be commended for their work. Also, I would like to personally thank Madib, Ingen, U Kelly for their hospitality for the visitors for the East Kingdom tournament, and they shared some of the local delicacies of the area. I would like to extend my personal thanks to Sefa Hraffensdotter and Penelope of Three Roses for hosting me at East Kingdom Crown, and Koya Karasova, who was my travel buddy at the time. And I would also like to commend Asa and Blinda for creating the skeleton for the SCA Discord server, which you will hear about later, and Kalfina and Kira for taking the lead and building out the server and positioning it to be successful. Additionally, I'd like to commend Reese App Guian Barrett and Ado Cialo for their work launching the server and being moderators and admins for the site. I would like to commend Elaine the Dubious for designing and creating a seal for the president that will be used on my correspondence to folks. I would also like to commend Aaron Potter Tihan, who has stepped in as Society Exchequer, but really Aaron has really done a lot more than beyond that role, and she is a boon to this organization. I'd also like to have, there are some special project commendations as well. Lori Ford continues to be my special projects deputy that manages most of the projects. I would also like to commend Isabel Lane, Selena Kaplan, Dame Petra of the Rozaki, Anae de Montgomery, Adalia Vandenberg, Mistress Honor Dubois, and Erinwin O.R. Wafuen. So we have a lot of different projects that I will cover briefly, and it's in my fuller report that will be the publishable summary that will be released later. But we have a lot of different projects going on, a lot of movement on the society level, and there are a lot of people behind the scenes working to make the SCA a better place. So finally, I would like to get to some of the transitions. I would like to commend Charles Burke, Baron Charles de Bourbon, for his tenure as the Officer of Inclusive Programs. He has done a lot to help propel the SA forward and has positioned us in a position where we can embrace what we are, a global historical organization with a respect for the histories of all cultures. And we will continue on that work with his successors. I would like to commend Nicholas Milano on completing his term as the Society Web Minister. And thanks to his efforts and by involving the community, there's a Wikipedia handbook It has been a pleasure working with him, and I'm grateful for the advice that he has given to me and the perspective he has given to me about the community surrounding all of the webworks of the SCA. And lastly, I would like to commend Bridget Costello, who this is her maybe last meeting. She has been the communications officer since I stepped up, and we have worked hand in hand through a lot of things. It is a challenging role, and Bridget has been nothing short of extraordinary, and it has been an extreme pleasure to work with her during this time. For the general status report, I kept this one short. There's a longer summary later. But the SCA Discord server has launched, and it has 2,300 users, but now it's like 2,400 because I did this like a week ago. So Project Quantum, which is e-banking payments funds, is near completion with a solution for a singular bank for the SCA being proposed. For most kingdoms, Project Insight, which is reducing exchequer complexity, is nearing completion as well. The handbook is undergoing a complete revision, and forms are being updated to simplify everything across the board. Just a little added note that exchequer is one of the hardest positions in the SCA. So as an organization, we should do what we can to make that process and experience as easy as possible for the volunteers. Project Practice is almost complete, and that is about creating SOPs and things like that. It's more about organization. So for that project, officer and deputy positions have been mapped, SOPs have been created, and all the job descriptions across the society have been updated. Templates have been created for standardization, and a temporary centralized SharePoint has been created to store documentation until the permanent structure will be completed, and that is something that Isabel Lane will be working on. Project Throne, which is the Crown Guide, continues with interviews and is about 50% complete. Project One for All, which is the DEIB project, is underway, and I guess we'll have news on the hiring of corporate and society positions later. Project Margin, which is the alternative revenue streams, I just read you the scope for, and that's about to kick off. And we also have an upcoming project, which is Project Scale, which is the large and recurring events, name pending, is beginning to form with Scadians with experience with our organization's largest events. That is kicking off soon. So, just as another note, the SCA is a big place. There's a lot of people with experience and a lot of people who are willing to lend that experience and expertise to the SCA. And I am all for utilizing that to craft the best path forward for the society. And that is my report.
Excellent. Thank you, Bao. To the directors, are there any questions or requests for clarification from the report of the president? There being none, without objection and by consensus, the report of the society president is accepted. And thank you very much. Item 6A1 would be the report of the Society Vice President for Information Technology, who I do not believe is present. And as such, I believe it would fall to Val, I guess, to deliver that report, or the ombudsman for that office. Ombudsman, excuse me, and that would be Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is the report.
It can be that fast. It's, these reports get long after a while.
This is the report for the second quarter 2025 from the Vice President of IT. Requested board actions, none. Policy interpretations, none. New policies, none. Accommodations will be scrolled during the break. General status report. It has been a busy time within the IT department. After being approved in the last meeting, we were able to successfully upgrade the Society's web server with little downtime. The new system has been performing wonderfully. We have created accounts for Kingdom Exchequers and Seneschals to enable them to use modern collaboration tools. The coding department is up and running. They have spent the quarter familiarizing themselves with the Neon One system. Although we did lose one coding volunteer when he decided to go win Crown List in his kingdom, congratulations to him. Publish a little summary. The Information Technology Department continues to grow. Our development and SharePoint departments have gotten their feet under them and begun to work towards their goals of improving information technology for the SCA. The server upgrade went flawlessly, and we've seen marked improvement in its performance. We look forward to continuing to expand and improve IT throughout the Society. Submitted, Sam Davis, Vice President of IT.
Thanks, Jonathan. Are there any requests for clarification or questions regarding the report of the Vice President for IT? Then by consensus and without objection, the report of the Vice President of IT is gratefully accepted. That will bring us to item 6A, 1A, the Society Web Minister. Nick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Here's my final report as the outgoing web minister for the Society. This is for the second quarter 2025. Requested board actions, there are none. Policy interpretations, none. New policies, none. It's under commendations. I have a list. It's very hard, honestly, to believe that this is my final report, and I've had a lot of help along the way, and I feel like it's important to recognize them. And Bao is absolutely right. Your web ministries work very hard for you. So I want to recognize the following people grouped by the kingdom. From Drakenwald, Finna Boonen. Lockhart is Jeff Nicholson. Middle is Wendy Pastrick. From the east, Matt Jackson, Joel Messerer, and Chad Bergeron. From Atlantia, my replacement Kevin Bond, Jacqueline Chenault, Tim Covell. Trimaris, Brian Ryder. Meridiers, Tyson Newell and AJ Thompson. Ethelmark, Perry Nelson Sukert. North Shield, Paul Knappenberger. Callantier, Lilith Carpenter. Joseph Schaefer. Glenavon, Sandra Wright, Onstiora, Kira Langton. Outlands, Daniel McEwen. The West, Clifton Mueller, Kaid, Owen Schreibman, Eldemir, Kelly Ridley. Avacol, Roya. Ontier, Jonathan Levy. Artemisia, the one and only Dan Watson. Aitenveld, Rose Halberg. Thank you to these individuals. I could not have done the job that I did during this term without all of you working hard in your kingdoms. It has been a joy to work with each and every one of you, as well as the board. General status report. We have 5 kingdoms that reported this this quarter, with 15 non-reporting. Glenavon has been transitioning local websites to a similar template as the Kingdom website to make things easier. The East Kingdom, as Bao mentioned, has successfully streamed the first Crown tournament fought with Rapier Combat, and they streamed a full day on 4 cameras and commentary through a singular cell connection, running entirely, mostly from one battery, and moving partway through due to the wet weather, as was mentioned. They have been updating their PHP configurations to better manage resources. They're working with Meridiers to help stand up our Google and email system that they're implementing, similar to the East Kingdoms. There's new development work. In Trimaris, they had a complete redesign of their website for speed, and they basically took their website off of a server that was held together with duct tape. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. Lady Katharina Grosen von Strathford is the new Kingdom Web Minister for Trimaris, and they have done a website rebuild. They have restructured their office with deputies to help support the Kingdom Web Minister's digital infrastructure, with a Kingdom Liaison Deputy, Email Systems Deputy, and a Compliance Deputy. This is to prevent future bottlenecks and improve transparency. They are rolling out an electronic warranting system using SignRequest, and this will help eliminate the need for physical paperwork and reduce turnaround time. Also will improve their tracking and archival reliability. They're implementing web minister training and local group audits. And then we move to North Shield. They're still rolling out their new Kingdom website. They are utilizing a plugin from Callantir. So again, they're working very closely with Callantir. They've had a huge amount of help and support from their web team, and they are testing their system actively to make sure everything works well. And then Callantir has made significant progress in deploying their Callantir online app for managing their various data needs. And they mentioned as well working hand in hand with North Shield to help them. I am delighted that Kevin is going to be taking over, not because I dislike the job, but I will say that it has been challenging at moments, but it has been very rewarding. I think Kevin is going to be doing a fantastic job. I have gained a lot of perspective working with all of you on the board. And I hope that I left this office in a better place for Kevin to take the ball and run with it. I look forward to great things with the improvement of the user experience and the user interface among different web minister projects around the known world. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Nick. Are there any requests for clarification or questions for the Society Web Minister outgoing? There being none, by consensus and without objection, this is the report of the Society Web Minister outgoing is gratefully accepted. And by the change in background, I see that he is preparing to enjoy his retirement, however long or short that might be.
Thank
you,
Thanks,
Nick.
That would bring us to, there we go. Item 6A2, the report of the Society Communications Officer. Bridget?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This quarter has marked significant advances in our digital engagement and our community connections. We've really focused on inclusive storytelling, accessible communication, and generally stronger alignment across the platforms. The announcement of the Order of the Mark was met with widespread celebration across the known world as members embrace the recognition of exceptional service by those working in the ranged missile arts community to shape the experience of the SCA. Social media lit up with congratulatory posts, personal reflections, and images of vigilance stepping into the spotlight. The premiers of the order were honoured individuals marked by deep gratitude and joyful ceremony, and the elevations were seen not only as personal milestones, but yet another step in the recognition of the community that also sustains the dream. The outpouring of support that we saw across all communication channels underscored the Society's commitment to broadening recognition and honouring the many ways that excellence is expressed. Notably, we continued expanding our reach and enhancing real-time engagement across kingdoms and interests. As has been mentioned earlier by Bao, in May, we proudly launched the official Discord server, and that's established a dedicated space for real-time conversation, project collaboration, event update, and persona-based connections across the known world. Encourage everybody, if you haven't checked it out, check it out now. It's a really great space. We've had a really rapid uptake with more than 2,300 members joining in our first couple of weeks, which has been awesome. We've included channels for arts and sciences, martial activities, heraldry, accessibility, newcomer support, so many more. Thanks to those people who continue to give us suggestions for how we can build and grow the server. That is moderated by a team of trusted stewards with right across the society from all different sorts of kingdoms. Thank you to those people who have volunteered. I would actually like to join Bao in offering special thanks to Cole Finner, whose leadership, technical acumen, community first approach has made it not only possible, but joyful. Her contributions have helped shape the tone, structure, and success of the platform. As I submit this, what is indeed, Mr. Chair, my final report in the office, I close the chapter on 7 years of service in a corporate role for the Society. It has been one of the most challenging, definitely challenging at times, humbling and joyful experiences. Serving as a corporate officer from Lockhart has meant navigating both the tyranny of distance and the puzzle of time zone, but it has also offered the profound gift of seeing the SCA as a truly interconnected global community. It's bound not just by geography or rank or people perceptions, but that shared purpose and our love of history. Over these years, we have faced extraordinary times together. The pandemic tested our resilience, our creativity, and our connection to one another, but it also helped us step forward and advance our communication so that more people can be included. We adapted, mourned, innovated, and rebuilt, and through it all, the work of communication became not just a function of many, many officers around the world, but a lifeline. And it's been an honour to help shape how we stay connected, informed, and inspired. I have seen the very best of what the SCA can be: generous, imaginative, inclusive, and enduring. I've worked with so many amazing people across kingdoms, time zones, and cultures, all united by a common desire to keep the dream alive, not just as nostalgia, but as something evolving, relevant, and deeply human. Thank you to all those who've walked alongside me, who lent me your trust, your ideas, your humour, your images, your copy, your, hey, wouldn't that be cool? Maybe we could go viral, and your heart. To those continuing the work, I offer my absolute admiration and confidence. And to everyone, thank you for letting me serve. This concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
As loath as I am to ask, considering what it means, are there any other questions or requests for clarification from what is regretfully for us the final report of the communications officer?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman. How many years did you say that was? Working for corporate?
Working for corporate, I became Deputy Society Social Media 7 years ago.
7 years. Thank you so much.
Sir Tiberius realized when we were talking about this, who was my predecessor, that he also served 7 years. I would recommend to all officers that you do not serve 7 years. New bodies, new ideas, new blood, let's go. But it's been good. There's been many a challenge and I've learned a lot. So thank you to the board for the opportunity.
7 years, Bridget. That's stunning. Thank you so much.
Well, for a significant and enduring contribution to the SCA over 7 years in the corporate office and a lifetime before that, for the many gifts, courtesies, and just hard work that you have expended on our behalf. We extend our grateful thanks, and we're going to keep you through the end of your warrant. It's not like today, but we are very grateful, and we wish you only the best in your future endeavors. And selfishly, we hope that once you get, a good rest and have had a chance to enjoy yourself, that the bug bites you again and that you consider other ways that you might be able to contribute to the SCA. Not for the whole 7 years thing, but thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've got this thesis about 16th century West African food that I can't wait to get back to. So,
by consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Communications Officer is gratefully, though regretfully, accepted. For example, my computer today. That would bring us to item 6A3, the report of the Society Media Officer. Oh, look, she's back.
thankfully, Mr. Chair, we managed to cover that because
I know, I just wanted to do it anyway.
It's concise report, so covered, and back to you.
Love you, Bridget. That report's also gratefully accepted by consensus. Item 6A4 on our standing agenda, the report for the Society DEIB officer. As that office is currently vacant, that report is not in evidence, and we will take note and move to the next item. Item 6B, this would be the report of the Society Vice President for Operations, also known as the Society Seneschal.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is my quarterly report for Q2 2025. Under requested board action, both of those items were taken care of under new business. I have no variances at this time. I have no policy interpretations at this time. I have no new policies at this time, and there are not yet any group status changes at this time. I do have commendations. Those will be scrolled during the break. And that gets us to the general status report. We blinked, and just like that, it was suddenly July of 2025 after a very active May and June. The Kingdom Seneschal SharePoint is up and running, and the business of this business continues apace, hopefully now with greater efficiency as we take advantage of the technology and with the grateful help of the SharePoint champion and the Vice President for IT. A running theme for this quarter from the Kingdoms appears to be communication issues. Kingdom Seneschals and their fellow officers are noting that these occur and are meeting with their counterparts to offer guidance and reminders for policy, where those policies may be found, and who to ask for clarity on those particular issues and policies. Speaking of policies, as noted, we are still working with my crack crew of deputies and proofreaders on the Seneschal Handbook. It seems that every time I think we've just about gotten the heavy lifting done, there is another great idea or a not so great issue that pops up, and we go back to the working progress. For travel, I am teaching a class at the Royal University of Meridies, July 19th. That class will be on SCA sanctions, what they are, how they work, how to avoid them, particular emphasis on the third part of that, and have other travel as need arises. I also have some professional travel in the fall, which I hope will allow for additional friendly visits to some of those local regions, and I can put some faces with voices. For publishable summary, since my last report, most kingdoms have named their premiers for the Order of the Mark and have elevated many of them as of this writing. Adding to this very busy and exciting spring, there were several kingdoms holding their crown tourneys, with many first-time heirs stepping into their new roles with enthusiasm. With geographic and sometimes geologic issues, fewer and fewer warm bodies to take over officer roles, our branches are making good use of the various tools to hand, including the expanded experiment for hamlets in North America. 2 potential branches who meet the inclusion criteria are looking into this as of this writing. And I am talking with those Kingdom Seneschals to see if we can get those groups rolling under that awning. In addition, some cantons have opted to rejoin their parent baronies. I was delighted to hear and see of the enthusiasm and poetic joy in the West for the two cantons that joined their barony there after proactive and productive discussions. Other smaller shires are dissolving to combine with nearby shires to help shoulder the officer, class, and event work. We have several new Kingdom Seneschals taking the plunge this quarter. Welcome to those who have stepped into what we often refer to as the hardest job you will ever love. Those who apply their individual talents, both from SCA experience and their modern lives, to administer, guide, and advise, and man the bucket brigade when it's occasionally necessary. Welcome to our new Kingdom Seneschals, and I am very pleased and excited to work with all of you. For Avakal, that is Vicky Foster, Lehrer Sariv, Joy's daughter. For Eldemir, Natasha Roach, Her Excellency Brela Levitienne. For Drakenwald, John Fraser, Baron Colin Tyndall. For the Outlands, Fox Whitworth, Don Emrys Guamachi. That concludes my report.
Are there any requests for clarification or questions for the Society Seneschal? And I will recognize myself and ask one. Given recent events, I'm given to understand happened at Battlemore, should we be expecting a Society Seneschal deputy for bear relations?
That is in the works, Mr. Chair.
Or perhaps for picnic baskets?
We lovingly refer to that deputy in the works as Boo Boo, and we'll have that warrant set forth to the executive assistant post haste.
I eagerly look forward to seeing that one. All other questions and whatnot being resolved by consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Seneschal is gratefully accepted.
Thank you, directors.
Item 6B1, Society Youth Activities Officer.
And just like that, I'm back again. Mr. Chairman, I respectfully submit the report for the Society Youth Officer for Q2. Requested board actions are none. Policy interpretations, none. New policies, none. Commendations at this time, none. General status report. The ongoing projects of Zoom meetings for April and May. Deputy summaries for youth officers are in the works. The deputy for youth reports that she has had very few MOIs coming to meetings this quarter, as everyone seems to be busy with events and personal issues. She is keeping track of the various Kingdom Youth Facebook pages to make sure that things are going apace. Overreaching goals: 1, family, working with the whole family, parenting, youth, teens, and how to combine that to make the SCA more welcoming to families. 2, visibility and accessibility for youth activities and classes at events. Compiling resources and information for families, parents, teens, and youth are a subcategory for these goals. As for travel, there is, she says she has done various events in North Shield, traveling through Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Michigan, with future events planned in July for Dub Dub in North Shield and Penzic. Publishable summary. Youth officers are busy working to make the society more inclusive, visible, and approachable for family participation by creating youth and family programs to ensure all ages can participate. Resources are being shared across kingdoms, and outside of official youth activities such as BOFR and classes, there are increases of youth teen family participation in archery, thrown weapons, adult classes for certain age groups, and other areas that have been traditionally more adult-centric.
Excellent. Are there any questions or requests for clarification regarding the report just presented by Stacy? There being none, by consensus and without objection, the report of the society, make sure I get the title right, Society Youth Activities Officer is gratefully accepted. Item 6C, the Vice President for Corporate Operations, Louise.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All right, it is the me show for just a minute. No board actions, policy interpretations, or new policies. I have several commendations, but I'll let them scroll. Publishable summaries, same as my general status report. In April, we applied for and were assigned a unique entity ID. This is a UEI. It identifies the SCA as an organization in the system for award management, which basically means we're eligible to receive federal funding or awards, such as they are. This was required for the Society Archivist to apply for a specific grant, but now we have that number, so that's just another way that we might be able to get funds. Trademark renewal for the SCA Shield Mark is still pending. However, the required updates have now been made to our usage and the requested artifacts submitted to the Patent Office to satisfy the renewal of the mark as registered. And that is, as a reminder, without the letters SCA in the design, which is how we've been using it for quite some time. However, we have the option to register the shield mark with the letters, and that will probably be one of my items in next month's meeting. No word yet on the Pensick War trademark, but we don't anticipate any issues. And that is my report.
Thank you, Louise. Are there any questions or requests for clarification? Then by consensus and without objection, the report of the Vice President for Corporate Operations is gratefully accepted. Thank you, Louise. Item 6C1, the report of the Publications Manager.
All right, and Gloria is, as usual, out on the high seas, so I will cover for her. This is the report of the Publication Manager, Gloria Woodard, known in the SCA as Honor of Restermel. General status report, the publications team is serving the populace well with the newsletters, Tournaments Illuminated, and Complete Anachronist. Publishable summary, the publications team continues to create beautiful, informative works for the education and enjoyment of the populace. As an organization, we are fortunate to have such a dedicated group of volunteers to provide us with such amazing publications, as well as the preservation of those materials in our archives. And that concludes the report.
Excellent. Are there any requests for clarification or questions? Then by consensus and without objection, the report of the Publications Manager is gratefully accepted. Item 6C2, the report of Tournaments Illuminated.
All right, and this is, I don't believe Kendra is here either. So this is the report of your new Tournaments Illuminated editor, Kendra C. Jones, known in society as Kendrith Philia Gerard. General status report. We are putting the final touches on the Q2 2025 TI and getting it ready to publish. As opposed to last quarter, we actually had more content than available pages for this issue, so we are holding some things over for future publications. Complimentary copies of Q1 TI issue number 221 have gone out to all our contributors. I have been reaching out to gather more content for our Q3 2025 issue. That is the report from Kendra. I will also add, as she doesn't mention it, that we had some delay in getting this long-awaited issue of Tournaments Illuminated out due to the fact that we had to reapply for our periodicals number due to non-use, and like many other systems out in the world right now, that took a long time, but it is out and we're very delighted to have it out and delighted to see what comes next. That concludes the report.
Excellent. Thank you, Louise. Are there any questions or requests for clarification? Then by consensus and without objection, the report of Tournaments Illuminated is also accepted. 6C3, complete anachronist. Pardon me, Shep.
Mr. Chair, can we have a 5-minute break?
Yes. Given the reality of herding cats and whatnot, and also, quite frankly, to let the commendations scroll, because I do want to make sure people get a chance to see those. Why don't we take 10? It is currently not quite 1:30 Central Time. Without objection, we will resume at 1:40 Central Time, roughly 13 minutes from now. Okay, then the meeting stands in recess and we'll resume at 1:40 Central. All right, welcome back. We will resume now after that intermission with item 6C3 with complete anachronist.
All right, this is the report of Complete Anachronist editor Ellen Rawson, known in society as Ariel of Lindisfarne. It is her birthday, so I don't think she's on. This is under requested board actions, but it's actually a my office action that we've had complaints from people in Artemitsa and actually other countries about subscribing to Complete Anachronist and Tournaments Illuminated. And this is due to the Neon CRM not allowing, you have to select a US state or a Canadian province, even though you can select a country. We've been trying to work it out, so I apologize for that. I think we're just gonna have to do a workaround, so I will reach out to the Finnish affiliate, and we will probably have to go a little bit back in history, very appropriately, and just have any international subscribers can contact us directly, and we will invoice them and make sure they get on the list. And so sorry, not Artemisia, Finland. Just to clarify. So I do apologize to our international subscribers, obviously with Tournaments Illuminated coming back, as well as some frankly fantastic Complete Anachronists coming out lately. I want to make sure that you are all able to get those. And all right, let's see. Oh, and welcome to Hannah, our second interpreter. Thank you, Sean and Hannah, for providing our interpretation services for this meeting. Back to Ellen's report. 2025 Q4 CA, let's see, Q4, those are some numbers, I won't read them. The new Complete Anachronist Hanseatic Cooking, Volume 1, was sent to Joyce in late May 2025. I can say now that it has gone out, and we've received our copies, so it's out. And let's see, Complete Anachronist 208, Hanseatic Cooking Volume 2 is of this date in the layout and proof stages. They've made changes to the first proof and are waiting for the author. And this CA should be mailed to subscribers in July. Then there are, as always, a list of other upcoming Complete Anachronists. I can't read all of them, but we've got one coming up on Ottoman cuisine, one on beekeeping. Historical beekeeping is really cool, and sumptuary laws, and 2 more pages of other exciting things. So I'll just read the current issue. Volume 1 of Hanseatic Cooking, Complete Anachronist introduces English-speaking readers to the culinary world of the Hanseatic cities. Dating back to the 12th century, merchants from what today is called northern Germany sailed the Baltic Sea to trade as far away as Estonia and Russia. At one point, the Hanseatic League consisted of over 200 towns and cities, located in modern-day countries such as Germany, Poland, Estonia, Sweden, and Russia. The topic of Hanseatic foodways is still under-researched and difficult to access for anyone not proficient in German and Low German. So that is another cool issue of Complete Anachronist, and that is the report.
Excellent. Thank you, Louise. Now that I'm unmuted, are there any questions or requests for clarification? Then by consensus and without objection, the report for Complete Anachronist is gratefully accepted. Item 6C4, Society Chronicler.
That is also me. Crystal Smith, known in society as Mistress Cecilia Blythe. This is her Society Chronicler report. Still working on response to those people looking for a change to requirements for baronial newsletters. No plans to change that policy at this time, but we'll be going through policy for any necessary possible changes. Newest list of Black Fox winners was published. Working on certificates to send out with tokens for winners. No problems to report. Still in need of a deputy chronicler. Have had one person interested. So if you're interested and out there in being the deputy to the Society Chronicler, please reach out to the publications department. This department overlooks all of the Kingdom Chroniclers. And that concludes that report.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions or requests for clarification? Then by consensus and without objection, the report for the Society Chronicler is gratefully accepted. Item 6C5, Society Archivist. I believe Travis is with us, so.
Thank you. Glad to give Louise a break there so she doesn't send my kingdom to another country. Yeah, so just to follow up on some of the things in my report, I have no requested board actions, policy interpretations, or new policies. And one thing I would like to say is thank you to the Barony of Griffin's Lair for hosting an impromptu visit from the president and the Society Marshal as we came to their fighter practice. They were super awesome and it was a good time all around. And so we're glad that they could help that. I didn't get it in my other part there, so I'm just saying it here. But we'll get down to the part you're interested in. The last time when we met, I had applied for a grant on behalf of the archive to help us rehouse the collection. Unfortunately, we did not receive the grant. And the long story short is they thought that it was too broad of a collection and that they would have preferred if I only did the Utah collection. And I thought that was kind of unfair to only archive or care for Artemisia's stuff. And so they, of course, didn't give us the grant, but they said that we had a very strong showing with the grant there as well. From the process, I was able to learn a lot of different things and already have started to improve archival management, including getting a hold of us here for research and purpose like that as well. We continue to assist researchers and provide digital information. We also can take visits in person. If you'd like to visit us here, you may have to get a passport now that Luis has sent us to a non-US location. I'm not going to let that go. Sorry. But in the continuation there, has really helped us to go along the lines of making it easier to access the archives. On a different topic, I recently digitized the 1986 Fighter's Handbook, which the SCA holds copyrights to. This document will be added to the digital library, which will eventually be available to our members. You'll be able to access it and read over the old things. It's a really interesting manuscript, has lots of how to build a sword, how to build armor, that type of stuff, but also some really fascinating, this is what we think you should do for first aid and things like that. So it's an interesting glimpse into what the SCA was like 40 so years ago, fighting wise, and how it's changed over time. And as we slowly digitize those, they'll be made more available for everyone. If you happen to hold the copyright to any article that has been published in an SCA newsletter and like to help us digitize that or add it to the collection, please reach out to us and grant us the ability to do that. That way we can digitize these and make them available for research, for understanding and information for anyone who reads stuff there as well. Otherwise, the archive continues to fulfill its mission. Things are doing pretty good here. And though we didn't receive the grant, there are more opportunities. I will note that because they were excited about the concept of providing money for the Utah records, that historians in the SCA, so if your kingdom has a historian and happens to be keeping materials that aren't at the archive here, likely could apply for the grant to this grant, which is available in most states, to help preserve your collections as well. So feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to know more about that. Once again, we learned a lot from the grant writing process, and it was very interesting to see what next steps may be. Perhaps down the road, we can apply for a national grant, but that's going to take a few more steps. That's all that I have today for the board and for the populace of the SCA. Thank you for your time.
Travis, thank you very much for that, and thank you for putting all the effort into the grant writing in the first place. Many moons ago, I helped out with some grant writing stuff when I was in college, and it impressed upon me how difficult and labyrinthine that process can be. So I'm grateful that you stuck with it and did the work on our behalf to work through that. Are there any questions or requests for clarification? Then by consensus and without objection, the report.
Sorry, Mr. Chair. Sorry, there is a question in the chat from Pat Fitch. Can only copyright publications be digitized and archived?
I can answer that. So the best option for us is to have copyrighted or have the copyright so that we can digitally republish it or have it shared with us. So typically we can digitize and we can archive it for research, but if the general populace of the SCA just wanted to look something up or read an old article or things like that, we would have to get permission from the copyright holder to share that broadly. We can keep it in the archive just in the same way when you go to a library, the library doesn't own the copyright to the books and can share it, but we can't digitally disseminate it. So we're looking for ways that we can make it so you can see some of these things, but if we get the copyright, it becomes really easy to make it available. And that would just be permission to republish it. You're not transferring the copyright to the SCA or anything like that. You just understand that we would like to republish it in a digital medium.
Other questions, other requests for clarification? Then by consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Archivist is also gratefully accepted. This would bring us to item 6D, which would be the report of the Society Treasurer.
Yeah. Hold on, my video would not turn on for a minute. Okay, this is the report for the July 2025 board meeting for the Society Treasurer. Requested board actions. I am requesting the board's permission to invoice the kingdoms who were late with their 2023 consolidated reports to help cover a portion of the overage that we incurred on the audit due to being delayed well into this year. And Mark and I have been working on how much we might be sending out those invoices for, and just as kind of an explanation on why this is necessary for the audience, while the 2023 audit did finally get completed in June of 2025, because it was delayed so long by the kingdoms reporting late and then having issues when they did report, this pushed us into the 2024 tax season, which meant the auditors were working quite a bit of overtime to try and get our audit completed. And as a result, we ran about $28,000 over budget on that, and we simply cannot afford that. So I was not able to attend the planning meeting yesterday when I hoped the board discussed this. So if somebody wants to tell me whether that was approved or not, I would appreciate it.
As it happens, Carolyn, we did discuss that at some length yesterday. There'll be an official notification of such during the reading of the minutes of executive session. But informally, yes, we did approve that request.
Okay, thank you. Policy interpretation changes, none. I have a question, however, on the invoicing of the kingdoms, whether or not we need to implement a policy change on that. And I probably can run that past Stacy or Eben.
It's funny you should say that, because one of the other things that we discussed and ultimately directed to your office was to develop and communicate a policy regarding how we're going to handle audit cost overruns in future years.
Okay, well, then we're on the same page.
We are on the same page. For clarification and for the edification of those who may be watching this, Carolyn, I think I would be in the correct ballpark to say that in normal years that our audit expense has been somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000 American.
30 to 35,000, yes.
And my understanding is from reading the documents, I don't have them sitting in front of me to read the exact numbers, but that post-COVID in the 2022 audit, which extends into 2023, the 2023 audit, which is extended into 2024, and unfortunately now into 2025, that the expense related to those audits has been significantly higher than expected, in both cases due to the difficulty in getting accurate and timely reporting from the kingdoms. Is that accurate and correct?
That is accurate. The 2022 audit was significantly delayed primarily because of the Kingdom of Abakal. The 2023 audit was significantly delayed due to
we're not calling people out, but yes,
other kingdoms. It's not a consistent problem in one kingdom. It seems to rotate kingdoms around, and as a result, we've been over budget for 2 years in a row by a significant margin on the audit costs because of the delays.
I think I would be in the correct ballpark to say that for the overruns for those 2 years in the aggregate is approaching $50,000.
Yeah, I believe we were over budget in 2022 by roughly $15,000, and this year it was roughly $28,000.
Then 40-ish. Then my apologies. As among other of the duties of the board, the officers of the SCA, certainly one of the most central is our fiduciary duty and responsibility to be good stewards of the society and its resources. Certainly its financial resources in this particular case. This is an instance where this is a scenario and a situation that the board cannot leave unanswered and leave without action. as you've heard and you'll hear when we read the minutes from executive session, we are passing some of the cost of that overrun for 2023 to the kingdoms, specifically the kingdoms for which there was their late reporting materially contributed to the overage. I'm sure Carolyn and Aaron between them will work out how to communicate that to the kingdoms. And also that we have directed Carolyn to develop and communicate a policy regarding how we would handle this type of situation in the future should it come up. But I do want to make sure to impress upon our membership and whatnot that this is a situation that the board and the corporate officers take very seriously. And given the realities of our financial situation, which are not dire, but they're certainly not where we want to be and that sort of thing, that this is an area where we can and must take action. And we would remind the financial officers of the various kingdoms of the vital role that they all play in making sure that the society is able to maintain and perform its functions in handling the modern financial reporting and auditing functions, and that when there's a breakdown in those processes, that it has real and material impacts on the society. In this particular case, over the last couple of years, to the tune of more than $40,000, and that's just something we have to take action on. Sorry, Carolyn, please continue. Soapbox off.
Thank you. New policies, none. Commendations, none, although I do want to express my thanks to the Society Exchequer, Erin Tehan, for her continued work in trying to streamline our processes. I think that going forward, at least sharing files is going to be a lot easier, and also to Sam Davis for getting that SharePoint set up for us in this last quarter. General status report going to the investment account, which is D1 on the agenda. I included with my report an update of the investment account as of the end of May. And overall, our picture is looking pretty good because the stock market has been up in the last quarter. So our balance as of June 30th was $1,020,000 roughly. It has not changed significantly since then. I logged in this morning to take a look, and it's changed very little from that. As of the end of February, we are in the red on the budget to the tune of about $40,000. That's kind of in line with what we were estimating to be at this year. Membership revenue does seem to be a little bit further down than I was hoping it would be at this point in the year, but that seems to be the primary reason why we are a little bit under budget. And that may change with PINZIC coming up, because we frequently see a jump in the membership revenue right before PINZIC. So, and that's not reflected on our books until July or August. And that would be D2 on our agenda. The balance sheet, D3, need to change screens here. We're not doing too badly on the balance sheet. It has not had any significant changes. We have total assets of approximately $1.1 million and total liabilities of $180,000 as of the end of June. Although that is not reflecting a lot of the June expenses, because I ran this right at the end of June, and I know that the office does not always get the accounting up to date up until that point. Likewise, D4, our profit and loss. As of 6/30, our profit or our loss overall, this included the investment income, was $40,000. So that, like I said earlier, is right in line with our budget. Our actual operating income, however, is significantly lower than it should be, and that was at approximately $66,000. So we may be looking at having to cut some expenses a little later in the year, but since the next board meeting is when we normally start discussing the budget, if something comes up in between then, I will let you know. The 2023 audit is finally completed. I'm happy to have that off of my plate. You have no idea. There were no major changes proposed by the auditors, other than a couple of things for the North Shield investment account, which I'm still trying to work out with them because it doesn't make any sense to me. And the 2024 year-end reports are now running late from 4 of the kingdoms. I've heard from most of them regularly, with the exception of one whose exchequer just resigned in the last couple of weeks. And I'm hoping at least one of those will be turned in the next week, but I'm not sure about the other 3 on when we are going to get those issues resolved. So publishable summary, despite the challenges of still trying to get the 2023 year end of the audit concluded, on top of my usual tax season stress, things we're proceeding apace at the end of this report, and all the subsidiary reports for the SCA subsidiary states have been sent to the CPA, and they are working on getting those tax returns prepared. So that leaves only the main tax return left to prepare, and that is going to have to wait until we get those other 4 kingdom reports in. And also the audit will have to wait until such time. Travel, I have not had any travel so far this year, but I will be attending Costume College here in Los Angeles at the end of July, and my maybe going to Paris has turned to definitely going into Paris in August. So I will be in Paris for the August conference call, just so you're aware. And that concludes my report.
Questions, requests for clarification? Carolyn, in discussing the budget and the revenue numbers, recognizing that the membership income is falling short of what was budgeted. Is anecdotally, I don't need the numbers or anything, but to your recollection, how are we trending year over year? Is it a significant difference there?
You know, I have not actually done like a trend analysis on the membership. I can do that, but I think that we've been holding fairly steady for at least a couple of years.
Okay, thank you. Other questions or requests for clarification? Then by consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Treasurer, as well as the accompanying documents, items 6D, 1, 2, 3, and 4, are gratefully accepted. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
That would bring us to item 6D5, the report of the Society Exchequer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My second quarter report for the Society Exchequer. I have no requested board actions, although they were listed on the agenda, due to postponing the discussion of plan to purchase and implement a new software system, and the not having the financial policy in question. So no requested board actions. The policy interpretation is was a holdover from our last meeting and had been previously sorry, words are hard today. Had been previously addressed. No new policies at this time. Although the handbook policies and procedures are in current revision. My commendations previously scrolled during the break, but specifically to Carrie Henderson from Meridies, Jade Prummer from Trimeris, and Petra Hall from Eldermere for doing a lot of heavy lifting in the last quarter or two. A variance was granted to the Kingdom of Calontir at the end of May to permit the purchase of fireworks display through a professional company in accordance with the society financial policies. The variance was granted solely due to timing constraints, receiving board approval before Lily's War occurred, and it was upheld by the Board of Directors at the June 2025 conference call. The general status report is also my publishable summary. The 2023 audit, I listed April 2025. That was not the conclusion of the audit, but it was when the documents were finally turned in. So my end of life for the audit. The 2024 financial report cycle is almost complete. As Carolyn indicated, we are currently waiting for 4 Kingdoms reports. The consolidated reports from those kingdoms are currently outstanding. There are, however, several kingdoms actively behind in their quarterly reporting, which I would encourage all of the exchequers to try to get up to date with that. I currently have a system, a visual system to demonstrate which kingdoms are and are not reporting, and that is currently active in the SharePoint, but could become live. NMR reporting and invoicing continues apace to work efficiently and effectively with the collaborative efforts of James Baker, the Exchequer NMR deputy, and Louise. Everything goes very smoothly there. The communication is delightful, and there have been no problems with the invoicing system as well, with Louise sending invoices through the QuickBooks software directly to the kingdoms and having them pay electronically versus sending paper checks through the mail, which we all know from, I'm sure, personal experience is currently problematic. The more of that we can do, the better. The special project team that Bao made reference to earlier is making good progress on updating and revising the policies, procedures, forms, and reports associated with the Exchequer office at all levels. In the last 2 quarters, a SharePoint space and Microsoft Teams was created for the society and kingdom level exchequers to allow for efficient reporting, and as a document repository. So a document library has been set up for all active, current, and updated report forms, policies, handbooks. It also acts as our report file drop for all kingdom exchequers so that we are not emailing copies of reports, but they live in one place for all appropriate people to be able to access. That was due to the efforts of our VP of IT, as well as their SharePoint person. And reviews of books of the kingdoms have started. Atlantia was the first to complete one. All of the kingdoms and Greater Wars need to complete a review of books by the end of this year due to the fact that they are all out of date. Reviews of books are required by society financial policy every 2 years or at the change of exchequer. Current travel plans, I went to Ethelmark War Practice in May, and I will be attending Pennsic War for both weeks. I will be holding a Exchequer roundtable on the Tuesday of War Week to allow for all exchequers across the board, anybody who's in attendance, to come and discuss issues. This is not a meet and greet, but will include discussions, although less formal ones. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Erin. Are there any questions or requests for clarifications? then by consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Exchequer is gratefully accepted. Aaron, I know that you have are intending to withdraw your request for board action. Due to an oversight on our part, we did not actually amend the agenda and remove it from the agenda. So officially speaking, we'll need to remand it to the next meeting in order to handle that appropriately.
Chair, could we remand the request for board action regarding Intuit Enterprise purchase and implementation to the next conference call?
There is the clarified request from the Society Exchequer to remand said request to the next meeting by consensus and without objection. Going once, so ordered. Sorry, Aaron.
Thank you.
Moving right along. This will bring us to item 6E, the report of the Society Herald. Uni?
Yes, thank you. This report is as always a bunch of changes to our heraldic rule set, mostly small and incremental. But starting with the list, first of all, there is one requested board action, which is a minor change for section 4F of the administrative handbook about requests for reconsideration. During our name registration process, a name can be changed for a variety of reasons, and these requests for reconsideration are intended for cases where the eventual registered form is not what the submitter desired. This current change clarifies that such requests are indeed also allowed in cases where the letter of acceptances and returns suggests other options in addition to the one that was actually registered, so that the submitter can select one of these suggestions instead.
Okay, there is a request for board action from the Society Herald. Is there any questions or clarification on the requested action? In that case, we will open the floor for motions. Krista?
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the changes as delivered by the Society Herald.
Motion from Director Capps, second from Director Shepherd. Is there any further discussion on this motion? There being none, we'll move to voting. Directors in favor of adopting the requested board action as presented, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Any opposed? That is six in favor, none opposed. That motion carries and the requested board action is adopted.
So going on to policy interpretations. First, there are 9 updates to the SINA, which is our main rule set for the heraldic submissions. Item 1 updates our armory rules to be more culture neutral with regard of the charges we allow on heraldry. Items 2 and 8 clarify some sections of our armory rules. items 3 through 5 are changes to make our name rules more consistent. Item 6 updates our name rules, and items 7 and 9, the armory rules, to better match our increasing knowledge.
Are there any requests for clarification or questions from the directors? There being none, we'll open the floor if anyone is minded to move on the policy interpretations of the Society Herald. Director Shepherd.
I believe we can do the accept the updates as presented, not individually.
That is correct.
All right. Thank you, mate. Just making sure.
Only if you say in toto, though.
In toto. Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the updates to SENA as presented by the Society Herald, as presented in toto.
Would you accept a friendly amendment to accept the policy interpretations?
Policy interpretation, sorry.
Thank you very much.
I got ahead of myself.
That is a motion from Director Shepherd. I was not paying attention, so I'm going to have to give the second for that one to Director Foster. Sorry, Kate. Is there further discussion on this motion? There being none, we'll move to voting. Directors in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Any opposed? For clarification, Shep, did you just change your vote to opposed? Okay, thank you. Just checking. In that case, that is 6 in favor, none opposed, and the policy interpretations of the Society Herald are confirmed.
Thank you. Going on, there are some changes to the glossary of terms, of which item 1 reserves the badge and regalia of the Order of the Mark in the same manner as we already do with the other peerage orders. Items 2 through 4 update the glossary to include defaults for a number of new charges, which is intended to make our practice a bit more transparent.
Are there any questions or requests for clarification? In that case, the floor is open. Jonathan?
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the changes to the glossary of terms as presented in toto.
I knew I could make that a thing. That is a motion from Director Foster and a second from Director Poor. Is there further discussion on this motion? There being none, we'll move to voting. Directors in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. That motion carries and the amendments to the glossary of terms are adopted. Leslie?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the second on that.
That was Director Poor.
Right. Thank you. So going forward, there are 2 changes to the administrative handbook appendixes. Item 1 is an update to our list of standard sources, and item 2 is the addition of a new appendix which deals with the structure of the College of Arms. This isn't really a major policy change, but rather a matter of collecting in one place information that has been published over a period that spans most of the overall age of the society in various places in bits and pieces. So essentially just a cleanup operation.
Understood. Are there questions or requests for clarification? In that case, we open the floor. Director Capps.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the changes to the glossary of the administrative handbook for the College of Heralds as presented.
Would you accept a friendly amendment to accept the changes for the
Always.
administrative handbook appendices?
Always, yes.
And that is a motion from Director Capps and a second from Director Shepherd. Is there further discussion on this motion? There being none, we'll move to voting. Directors in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Any opposed? There's 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion carries and the changes to the administrative handbook appendices are adopted.
Thank you. And finally, in the policy interpretations section, there is the addition of one more Middle Egyptian alternate title.
Any requests for clarification or questions? There being none, the floor is open. Director Poor.
Mr. Chair, I move that we uphold the policy interpretation by the Society Herald. Or alternate titles.
Changes to alternate titles? What she said.
Yep.
As a motion from Director Poor, is there a second? Second by Director Foster. Is there a discussion on this motion? There being none, we'll move to voting. Directors in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Any opposed? There's 6 in favor, none opposed, and the motion carries. The changes to the list of alternate titles are adopted. And informally, sometime not on the meeting, but I'm dying to know how they were able to document a Middle Egyptian title like that. But that's a question for later.
Yeah.
Please continue.
So going on, no new policies at this time. Commendations, I believe, were already published during the recess.
That is correct.
Then for general status report. First of all, the Known World Heraldic and Scribal Symposium was held, unfortunately, virtually on June 13th through 15th, organized by the Kingdom of Antir. Second, the first elevations to the Order of Mark have proceeded pretty much as planned, and various kingdoms are working on the traditions and ceremonies of the new peerage order. So thank you for going through with this. Third, Magdalena Lucia Ramberti is due to step down as the Society Sign Herald in August. The recruitment process is at its final stages, and I will expect a request for the warrant of her successor to be hitting you in July. And fourth, the warrant of Thorkel Paulson as Laurel Exchequer is likewise expiring in August. And to continue with what I wrote in my report, Pompeia Rufina will be taking over, and the two of them are currently preparing the warrant paperwork and also planning a handover in August. And fifthly, Jago Adam is scheduled to step down as Wreath King of Arms in March next year. This position has been advertised to the College of Arms with applications due on September the 1st, so that the request for a warrant would be expected for your October meeting and handover starting roughly in November. And in general, the heraldry in the society seems to be proceeding in a reasonably smooth manner, with no major crises in any of the kingdoms. Thank you.
Thank you, Uni. Are there any requests for clarification or questions? There being none, by consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Herald is accepted, and thank you very much, Uni.
Thank you.
Item 6F and 6F1 have already been handled previously in the meeting. That will bring us to item 6G, the report for the Society Minister of Arts and Sciences. Catherine?
There we go. Hello, everybody. So I'm going to start with a requested board actions that I've posted in my report. We're talking with Megan about the ANS handbook, and it's like, apparently there's an issue with it, so we'll talk about that later. And once we get a DEI officer at the society level, the East Kingdom is requesting assistance and feedback for one of the really hot topics in the arts community, and that's about cultural appropriation within the SCA. So that's more formal. I'm going to begin the rest of my report with talking about the arts community and its mission to fulfill and share research and recreated arts and sciences and their skills. In that vein, some kingdoms have either reconstituted or they strengthened their online newsletters, which allows access to a variety of incredible rabbit holes to the entire world. Also, during this last quarter, the newly created Order of the Mark sparked a great many dedicated artists to create clothing, regalia, and scrolls in order to celebrate the new members who have been or will be inducted into the order. Also, during the second quarter, many of those kingdoms we have successfully held their Kingdom ANS competitions. Concurrently, they are also addressing some viability in the rubrics and judging sheets. After years of use, there's now a movement to analyze and update them, especially in the areas of performances and research papers. Two reasons articulated was to create a more inviting environment for people to receive feedback, and also to address fairness in the judging process. Key in this is also where four kingdoms, Meridies, Trimaris, Glenavan, and Onstiora, been working together for the last year plus to create a common rubric so that the artisans have a familiar experience when they go to Gulf Wars. And even as competitions are expanding, there are also really exciting ideas and opportunities for artists to participate in non-judged ANS events. Low-stakes experiences can be a foundation for people to enter into the formal ANS activities if they so desire. Furthermore, classes, workshops, and crafting days were reported throughout the known world. While most were in person, some were digital to ensure as much access as possible. In-person and digital events with formally scheduled classes continued to grow. And then along this vein, in early 2026, three kingdoms, Atlantia, Lokak, and Drachenwald, are working together to host a 24-hour-long university so that people around the world may attend classes in their time zones and also be a part of the overall arts community. An exciting inter-kingdom ANS virtual, after reading the kingdom reports, I discovered that there are some really innovative ideas, and I think that we need to share these. As a result, I want to begin an idea of working for quarterly meet and greets beginning at Pennsic this year. My hope is that a regular outreach to the kingdom officers and ministers of arts and sciences may offer support for their officers, as some kingdoms reported that many of their local groups are finding getting local MOSs, volunteers, is very challenging. Hopefully we can help with each other and work with ideas to help encourage some of this. And finally, I want to end my first report with a very personal commendation to my predecessor, Magnifica Hildegard Bergeron, who, for her service as Society Minister of Arts and Sciences, her dedication to the arts and societies was and remains unwavering. And this concludes my report.
Thank you, Catherine. Are there any questions or requests for clarification? There being none, by consensus and without objection, we gratefully accept the report. Catherine, thank you very much. That would bring us to item 6H, the report of the Society Chatelaine.
All right. So I have no requested board actions, no policy interpretations, and no new policies requested. Commendations went through during the break, so we're aware of all that. The overall where we're going as the Chatelaine group over Lily's War and Callantyre, there was a newcomer meet and greet that was very successful. We had 40 newcomers come and meet all the Chatelaines, even those from other kingdoms, so that they had a better feeling of who they might be able to turn to amongst the war to get an idea if they needed help. There's about an hour and a half of question and answer, which I will get a report in on as soon as I am able to bow and to Jonathan regarding that stuff. It's just been getting all the notes together and pulling it all together. I'm a little behind on that. The Known World Newcomer Symposium is coming right along. The links are on the Society website. It's being hosted by Aiden Velt this year, and the date will be November 29th. And we are looking forward to that. We have also announced a Chatelaine Summit that I am hosting on January 31st of next year. And that will be an opportunity for some classes as well as some talks with other Chatelaines, local group on up to Society in different sessions. Looking forward to that. And there was one more thing. That I've lost track of. We're continuing to work on the Chatelaine Handbook. Progress is actually going very well. A little slower than I anticipated, but we're making good progress on it. So we're pretty happy about that. That's about what we've got going in Chatelaine world. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Are there any questions or requests for clarification? In that case, by consensus and without objection, the report of the Society Chatelaine is gratefully accepted. We have reached the end of the standard part of the meeting. And it's, it's been a bit lengthy. I would direct to the officers and directors, would another short bio break of roughly 10 minutes be appropriate? 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to go with, I'm seeing a lot of 5 in the from the folks, so we're going to take 5 minutes. It is currently 2:40 or roughly 2:40 Central Time. So we'll reconvene at 2:45 Central Time, or whatever the time may be in your time zone. In that case, we will resume the meeting. At this point in the agenda, we'll move to item 7, which is the executive session. Leslie, if you would do that thing you do so well.
Yes, sir. I apologize. I am getting over bronchitis, so I'm really gravelly. Society Seneschal confidential updates. The report of the Society Seneschal was accepted as presented. Oh, excuse me, let me pop back just a minute. Executive session was opened on Saturday, July 12th, 2025 at 1:07 and convened at 5:13 Central Time on that same date. I did want to note that Chair Mark Falcon directed the meeting until 3:58 p.m. Central Time, at which time he got called away and the gavel was passed to the vice chair, Mr. Shepherd, to continue the meeting. Okay. To continue, Anita McGovern, administrative sanction by the Kingdom of Locock. By consensus, the board took note of the administrative sanction of Anita McGovern by the Kingdom of Locock, prohibiting her from holding any SCA office, nor to be on the stewarding team of any SCA event for a period of 12 months, taking effect the 6th of June, 2025. James Bowen, by consensus, the board took note of the exile of James Bowen as issued by the Crown of Ontario on May 21st, 2025, and further approved by the Society Seneschal. It is noted that this exile is set to expire on July 13, 2025. Charlene Holt, motion by Joan Stoyer to revoke the membership of and deny participation to Charlene Holt, effective immediately and concluding on August 31st, 2026. Second by Jonathan Foster, opposed none, motion carried. Luna Starillian, also known as Varian Moon, motion by Joan Stoyer to revoke the membership of and deny participation to Luna Starillian, also known as Varian Moon, effective immediately. Second by Megan O'Shea, opposed none, absent Mark Falcon, motion carried. Camden Richards, motion by Kate Poor to revoke the membership of and deny participation to Camden Richards, effective immediately. Second by Jonathan Foster, opposed none, absent Mark Falcon, motion carried. Karen Renee Snow, motion by Joan Stoyer to revoke the membership of and deny participation to Karen Renee Snow, effective immediately. Second by Krista Capps, opposed none, absent Mark Falcon. Acting chair Katie Shepherd exercised his option to vote and did so in favor of the motion. Motion carried. Jonathan Brown, motion by Krista Capps to uphold the temporary removal from participation in the Society of Jonathan Brown as issued by Lachlan and Paraskova, Crown of Meridies and their Kingdom Seneschal on December 15th, 2024, to extend the temporary removal from participation and to further direct the Society Seneschal to begin an investigation into possible sanctions up to and including revocation of membership and denial of participation, effective immediately. Second by Kate Poor, opposed none, absent Mark Falcon. Acting Chair KT Shepherd exercised his option to vote and did so in favor of the motion. Motion carried. Levi Davis. Motion by Joan Stoyer to uphold the temporary removal from participation in the Society of Levi Davis as issued by Zachariah and Mariana Crown of the Outlands and their Kingdom Seneschal on April 6, 2025, to extend the temporary removal from participation and to further direct the Society Seneschal to begin an investigation into possible sanctions up to and including revocation of membership and denial of participation effective immediately. Second by Kate Poor, opposed none, absent Mark Falcon, motion carried. Christina Falk. Motion by Joan Stoyer to uphold the temporary removal from participation in the Society of Christina Falk as issued by Altivius. I'm sorry if I butchered that. And Olivia Crown of Artemisia and their Kingdom Seneschal on June 11th, 2025, to extend the temporary removal from participation and to further direct the Society Seneschal to begin an investigation into possible sanctions up to and including revocation of membership and denial of participation effective immediately. Second by Krista Capps, opposed none, absent Mark Falcon, motion carried. Angela Massatelli. Motion by Krista Capps to uphold the temporary removal from participation in the Society of Angela Massatelli as issued by Zachariah and Mariana Crown of the Outlands and their Kingdom Seneschal on April 2nd, 2025, to extend the temporary removal from participation and to further direct the Society Seneschal to begin an investigation into possible sanctions up to and including revocation of membership and denial of participation effective immediately. Second by Jonathan Foster, opposed none, absent Mark Falcon, motion carried. Anthony C. Owen. Motion by Kate Poor to uphold the temporary removal from participation in the Society of Anthony C. Owen as issued by Sutton and Celeste, Crown of Aidenveld and their Kingdom Seneschal on June 7th, 2025, to extend the temporary removal from participation and to further direct the Society Seneschal to begin an investigation into possible sanctions up to and including revocation of membership and denial of participation effective immediately. Second by Joan Stoyer, opposed none, absent Mark Falcon, motion carried. Okay, Schott. It's either Schott or Scott. We're not sure about the spelling. It's SCHOTTE. Sean Weglin. Motion by Joan Stoyer to uphold the temporary removal from participation in the Society of Mr. Weglin as issued by Jason and Margarita Crown of Anstiora and their Kingdom Seneschal on April 26, 2025, to extend the temporary removal from participation and to further direct the Society Seneschal to begin an investigation into possible sanctions up to and including revocation of membership and denial of participation effective immediately. Second by Megan O'Shea, opposed none, absent Mark Falcon. Acting Chair KT Shepherd exercised his option to vote and did so in favor of the motion. Motion carried. Deandra Pipkin. By consensus, this matter was remanded to the October 2025 quarterly meeting. Scott Dalgetty. Motion by Krista Capps to direct the Society Seneschal to issue a temporary removal from participation in the Society of Scott Dalgetty, and to further direct the Society Seneschal to begin an investigation into possible sanctions up to and including revocation of membership and denial of participation, effective immediately. Second by Megan O'Shea. Opposed, none. Absent, Mark Falcon. Motion carried. 2023 Annual Audit Kingdom Cost Sharing. Motion by Krista Capps to approve assigning a pro rata sharing of overage costs for the 2023 audit to the responsible kingdoms based on their late actions in this matter. Second by KT Shepherd. Opposed, none. Motion carried. By consensus and without objection, the chair directed the Society Exchequer to develop and communicate a policy regarding the cost sharing of audit expensive overruns in the future. Legal updates. This item was remanded to the August conference call. Officer updates. Officer of Inclusive Programs. Motion by Kate Poor to appoint Emily Renee Carroll as Society Officer of Inclusive Programs for the standard 3-year term and subject to the standard probationary period, effective at the close of the July 12th, 2025 meeting. Second by Krista Capps. Opposed, none. Motion carried. Society DEIB Officer. Motion by Krista Capps to appoint Christina Gonzalez, also known as Roxy Elliott, as Society DEIB Officer for the standard 3-year term and subject to the standard probationary period, effective at the close of the July 12th, 2025 meeting. Second by Kate Poor. Opposed, none. Motion carried. Society Communications Officer. Motion by KT Shepherd to appoint Kelly McKinnon as Society Communications Officer for the standard 3-year term and subject to the standard probationary period, effective September 1st, 2025. Second by Jonathan Foster. Opposed, none. Motion carried. January 26th. July 13, 2025, subsidiaries action by verbal consent. All actions for the subsidiaries for the Society for Creative Anachronism Incorporated are accepted by consensus. Director resignations, by consensus, no action was taken. Director appointments, by consensus, no action was taken. Chair assignment, by consensus, no action was taken. Vice chair assignment, by consensus, no action was taken. Ombudsman assignments. By consensus, no changes were made at this time. Warrant expirations. The following upcoming warrant expirations are noted and returned to the appropriate officers for further work. Exchequer ER Deputy, September 30th, 2025. Society Seneschal ER Deputy, October 31st, 2025. Webmaster, January 1st, 2026. Marketing, January 31st, 2026. Youth, January 31st, 2026. That concludes your minutes for your executive session.
And I'll take myself off of mute and say thank you very much one more time. Are there any requests for clarification or questions regarding the proceedings of the executive session that were just read into the minutes? Aaron?
Clarification about whether the policy for cost overruns is coming from the corporate treasurer or from the society exchequer?
At the time, we directed the treasurer to do so. Anecdotally, I'd say you guys work it out and let us know when you're done.
The minutes reflect the corporate the exchequer. Could we please clarify that within the minutes?
We will take care of that when the minutes are presented for review and consideration.
Thank you.
Any other questions or requests for clarification? All right, in that case, that brings us to the conclusion of our agenda, bringing us to item 8, otherwise known as the adjournment, for which I will open the floor. Unless nobody wants to end the meeting. I'm okay with that too. Krista?
Mr. Chair, I move we end this July 13th, 2025 quarterly meeting of the Society for Creative Anachronism Board of Directors at 1:03 p.m. Western Standard Time.
I think you mean Pacific, but okay.
Nope, I mean Western.
All right. Didn't realize the Kingdom of the West had its own time zone, but whatever.
Couple of them, actually.
They did it first.
Yeah.
We did it first.
There's a motion from Director Capps, a second from Director Poor. Is there discussion on this motion? There being none, we'll move to voting. Directors in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Are there any opposed? That is 6 in favor, none opposed. The motion is adopted and the meeting is adjourned.